So, I'm not going to lie, of any of the videos I thought I could be making this week, this was not one of them. I saw no real reason to talk about this week's episode of Darling and the Franxx, just like I saw no reason to talk about last week's episode of Darling and the Franxx. Because honestly, what could I have added to that conversation? All I would have been like was, oh, Red Hot Chili Pepper 02 is so cute, and oh, the way they handled the flashbacks was really clever, and the perspective change was really neat. That's about it. Like, I didn't really think there was anything new there, and I didn't really find anything new this week either. Then the internet did what the internet does best, and created a controversy to talk about. Yeah, in case you haven't heard, this week's episode of Darling and the Franxx has resulted in many fans crucifying, death-threatening, and cursing out the creators of the show on social media. And this is ridiculous. This is dangerous, and I think is unwarranted, and I think the people who are reacting so negatively might be kind of missing a few things that I'll address a little later. But first up, let's actually talk about the issue of just attacking people for just doing their job. Now, if you don't like something, that's fine. We all should think differently about things and be able to express how we feel. And more importantly, social media gives us a chance to communicate with creators, to express our fan love, to talk to other people about it in ways that has never existed. And that is genuinely amazing. But when you use that power that you have to then basically just bitch people out and say horrible and nasty things to each other, you kind of make it worse and harder for everybody. I know everyone's heard of this at point, but give me my chance to say it. What you need to understand is that, shut up phone, we have a very rare opportunity nowadays, and it can go away very quickly. You can go back to the days where creators don't communicate with fans, where people don't know who makes their shows or anything about them, and we lose that connectivity. Creators lose that feedback, that ability to implement what people want and what they think instantly, and we lose that ability to learn about what goes into making our stuff we love and to connect with those creators. That's gone. Like, that could go away very quickly. So next time you want to tell someone fuck off for just doing something you didn't agree with in a fictional piece of media, just take a minute, calm down, and really think about what you're going to do. And then afterwards, go walk around outside. Get some fresh air. I have a feeling you probably don't get outside enough. Now that's out of the way, let's actually talk about the episode. And first up, this was not the best episode of Darling and the Franxx. I completely agree. There's some really sort of poorly put together stuff in this. First up, I really feel like there was no reason why Hiro didn't just tell Ichigo that him and 02 met when they were children and the memories were taken away and he saw what 02 was and all this stuff. There really is no reason for it. Now, some people would say, well, there's no reason for him to say it. Well, there's no reason for him not to say it. Everything we know about Hiro is he's a very upfront guy. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he always tries to connect with people and reach with the people around him. That's why everyone sort of follows him and looks up to him. It's not because he's that much stronger than anyone else. Well, we learned he was, for a while, the best student and all that good stuff. But part of what makes this guy a good character and what makes him someone you can believe is that he just kind of gets along with everyone. He just reaches out. He is that simple, straightforward, nice guy. And I really didn't understand why, considering he now wants to understand what has happened to 02 over these years, why would you not tell Ichigo, A, your superior officer, and be someone you also connect with on a very personal level? Why not fill in those gaps with everybody? You could have saved yourself a lot of time, and we could have gotten a lot more time to understand it. Well, it's to lead into what happens later. And another thing I thought really was a big part of this was I hated the frickin' everyone goes to go see Hiro, and he's gone. And Hiro goes to see them, and they're gone. I hate that! Like, seriously, this whole thing could have been saved with a text message. I know they don't have cell phones, but you get my point. Basically, I just felt like this episode was worked and tooled in a way that was to very easily get a specific response. And that is Hiro and 02 separating, and 02 making her next step into more monstrous or angry nature. All that is fine, but I feel like if you had just sort of taken care of some very simple logistical issues, it could have worked better. I do not think, however, any of these come from Ichigo. I actually really liked the way Ichigo was, and I know you're going to hate me for this. I agree with her. Like, I see why she did what she did. We have to remember something. We know that Hiro and Zero Two have this connection. We know that Hiro is the one who keeps Zero Two grounded, and Zero Two does genuinely care about Hiro, even though my fan theory is that Zero Two doesn't remember that his name is Hiro, which is the real reason she calls him Darling. She just can't be bothered to, like, write it down. But we know these things. We know that Zero Two is involuntarily reverting. We know that Hiro just wants to help her. We know these things. The characters don't. As far as they can tell, all they know is that this person they don't trust, being Zero Two, who they really don't have a reason to trust. I know they're keeping like, she's one of us, she's on our team, but the show very cleverly shows you that none of these people really understand her or connect with her. I thought that was a weakness at first, how they're trying to build up this camaraderie amongst them, but Zero Two has very little interaction with anybody besides our two main other leads. This is in reality a great plot point because it essentially makes it that is why everyone is so willing to be against her and not let her talk to Hiro, because they don't actually have a bond with her. They trust her because they trust Hiro, but look at how Hiro's being. Essentially, everything out of his mouth is, I want to see Zero Two, I want to see Zero Two. Everything out of Zero Two's mouth is, I want to see Hiro, I want to see Hiro. Meanwhile, what else is everyone seeing? Hiro's in the hospital. He's legitimately hurt because of all this. And you have Zero Two who's going crazy and becoming more monstrous and doing all these violent things. And whenever anyone tries to reason with her, she just bitches them out. This is all very intentional, and this is all very good because it sets up why it's so easy for everyone to be against her. Like I said, they don't have a real reason to trust her besides Hiro, who they don't really trust right now either because of the state he's in. And also, remember, every time Zero Two does anything, it's weird shit. It's covering her food in honey, it's throwing everyone's underwear out the window, it's doing all this crazy stuff that just sort of alienates her from everybody. This show is meant to be a character study into how teens are, how you can manipulate their feelings, how you can address that, and one of those things is what causes us to alienate people. That needs to be addressed, and that was the point to all this. And then when you move on to Ichigo's other reactions, again, like I said, she's the commanding officer. She can't let herself get scared and wonder what the right thing to do is. She has to make a decision, and that decision isn't always easy, and again, she can't trust them on the battlefield. They ignored direct orders. They went off and did crazy things. Then they turned into the weird lion thing I wish we saw more of. Then Hiro's half dead because of Zero Two. From a logical perspective, you should ground them. You should keep them apart. This is a logical thing to do. But you don't have to view it that way. And more importantly, I don't even know if I 100% view it that way. Because there is a good chance that Ichigo is just reacting because of her emotions. She is just doing this because she's afraid for Hiro's safety, because she wants Hiro's attention, because she hates Zero Two for taking it. That's sort of the beauty of this. No one in this show is a perfect person, and it's kind of the reason I think I like Ichigo best, because everyone else kind of fits into a very easy archetype. Rather it's the good-natured fat kid, the skinny kind of scrawny asshole, the goofy, annoying, selfish little one. Everyone fits into an archetype. It just so happens that Ichigo is one I'm kind of okay with. Like, she is the level-headed one. She is the one who you would trust to be in charge, because she does seem like she is a little bit smarter. She is the one who calls out Zero Two on her crap. No one else does that. And that, of course, means that she's also kind of got to be the one who has to kind of make the serious move. She has to be the one who makes that tough decision that you are not going to like. But again, she also does love Hiro, and she might just be doing all this because she's scared for him. But remember, the blonde kid gave her a very logical thing to believe, and remember, the blonde kid isn't a lunatic like Zero Two constantly acts like. Everything about this to me was put together in the right way for why Ichigo has the reaction she does. And then people who are angry at the way she kind of forcibly kisses him at the end. Remember, these kids don't actually understand what kissing is. They don't understand the emotions behind it. They don't understand the weight of what a relationship is. They don't actually know what any of these things are because of how they've been raised. They only knew what kissing was like 2 months ago. Like, that's sort of the beauty of all this. This is a show about all these imperfect people and all their flaws and all their problems and all their misunderstandings and lack of understandings about everyone around them. And that's what I sort of love about this is you believe that this is how these people would think. And I believe that maybe Ichigo was doing this because she genuinely saw it at the right call. But I can also believe that she was doing this because she's this 15-year-old girl who has a crush on a boy, and there's another girl who kind of scares her, and they're in these scary, tough situations. You can totally believe whatever you want, and I think there's a valid argument for everything. But when your valid argument is, I don't like her or I don't like what's going on, so therefore fuck you, that's not valid. That's not an argument. That's not constructive criticism. If you genuinely don't like it, then come up with your logical argument. And if you'd like to talk to the creators and bring up your logical argument, that's also fine. But be intelligent about it. Don't just be an asshole. So that's what I think. That's my sort of intellectual discussion about, again, what is ultimately a goofy science fiction show that also tries to be a little bit smarter than the rest. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this episode of Darling in the Franxx. If there's any other sort of anime you want me to talk about in discussion form like this, or if you want me to keep talking about Darling in the Franxx. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe. And one final note, if none of this makes you able to like Ichigo or understand her perspective, remember, Ichigo is not real. No one is real. Nothing they do matters. It's a fictional TV show. Again, get some fresh air.